Hi friends!
Hi!
Today we're going to talk about all of the books that we read in the month of
August.
Yay! So
Books!
Let's do it!
I do books too.
So I'll start off since I have more. As you know from my reading vlog, I'll link that in the cards above. I read all of Chobits. It's really great. I gave all of them I think I gave one of them 3 stars maybe, or all of them 4 or 5 stars. Not going to get specific because it really doesn't matter overall. Overall, I'd give it 4.5. Really like this series. It's by Clamp, and I've told him all about it. It's really interesting. Love about robots, android love. Dude falls in love with a robot, learns some things that he can't do and can do, and some sweet lessons were learned. And I don't want to spoil it, but you should check it out. It's an older series, but they are about to release a reprinting anniversary edition on Right Stuff. Not sponsored. Please sponsor me. Yeah, go check that out. Great stuff. Your turn.
What's the song? I guess. I wanna fall in love or something. Like, what is the Chobit?
Oh, yeah.
Let me be with you. Yeah, that's it.
That was originally on my MySpace page when I was younger.
Yeah, it's how cool. That's actually what made me fall in love with her.
Yeah?
We got married after I saw your MySpace page.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Tell us something.
Mine's so small.
Just pick one.
Of the 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start out with the comic that I've read. I finished a comic. Let me look through this to remember what all's in this. Oh yeah, this is the one that has the Christmas issue, which was really fun because it was like this kid thought that Spawn was Santa. Oh yeah, I remember. There's a lot of cool stuff in this issue actually. There's a chapter that's about this kid who's into superheroes, and so it kind of blurs the line of like, oh, what universe is this in? And it shares the universe with these other people that, you know, makes you realize. And since this is Image Comics, I don't know what the legal ramifications is, but I'm sure they did their homework on that. Anyways, it's a good one.
Which one?
Volume 7.
Which includes issues 39 through 44.
39 through 44.
So you're a good bit into that.
Yeah.
Ooh, show them that. Like, hold that part up. It's so beautiful. Like, I'm going to pick this up once he gets the whole collection. He started at like number 3 or something from the library to what we own. So I'm going to have to wait till we start.
Yeah, I got the first 3 volumes from the library, so I still don't own them, and then I started buying them from issue 4 or from volume 4. And Spawn's one of those things that I grew up with, like with the Spawn movie, the one with I want to say J. Michael Tatum, but that's not him.
White?
Michael J. White. Yeah, one of my favorite people in the world, and I can't think of his name.
So good.
Anyways, great movie. So it made me interested in going back and reading the comics, and they're so 90s. And it's not what you think. Like, I've always seen this image of Spawn where he's like brooding and you know, I just never imagined him like losing because he has an infinite amount of a finite amount of infinite power pretty much.
Like, it's not unlimited necessarily.
He can do anything he wants, but there's a limited amount of stuff like a power that he has.
Okay.
So you don't imagine him losing a lot, but he loses a good bit, which is interesting. But I'm still interested in it. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyways.
All right. Next up, I read the Omnibus 3-in-1 collections 1 and 2, which includes issues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Bleach, the manga. My husband is a huge fan of this anime manga. He has completed it start to finish, both of them.
Multiple times.
Is very excited for the new, they're about to reanimate the end of the series, and I wanted to read it because I'm not a huge fan of the anime, but I am liking the manga, minus the Don Kanoji crap. So, it's good. I think everyone should try these. It's better than trying to buy all million of the single issues. I don't know how people do that. One Piece people are nuts, but they're great.
My friend, you know Erin.
Yeah.
She had the whole collection, and so I would start them and like buy or borrow them one at a time.
Yeah.
Read through them and like bring them to her, and she'd bring me the next issue every day at school.
Yeah. See,
so
that's a good way to do it.
I read through them through her like a few times, and it's the 1,000-Year Blood War is the name of the arc that they're animating.
That's exciting. But it's basically just a story about this boy named Ichigo, who's like 14, 15. And he is a soul reaper, becomes a soul reaper, and he has to kill these things called hollows, which are like kind of like demons, and they kill people, and he's just like fighting the bad guys and getting the girls and all that stuff. So it's just a really fun shoujo that's kind of 90s, 2000s style.
Next, I read A Hero is Born, which is the first of a series of 4 books that have been translated from an author that has a lot of acclaim across seas. Apparently, from the back of the book, they always hype these things up, but it said that from the world's most widely read 20th century writer with a best-selling legacy equal to that of J.R.R. Tolkien, J.K. Rowling, and George R.R. Martin. So
we'll ignore the J.K. Rowling part.
Yeah. Who? Anyways, she, and then it's the New Yorker said Jin Young, who's the author of this, has a cultural currency roughly equal to that of Harry Potter and Star Wars combined, which is interesting because that means a whole lot of people love his stuff somewhere else, and then we've never read it. So this is the first time his stuff has been
very,
translated.
Very old.
Oh yeah, this is
ancient.
This is some interesting stuff.
And the way you described it, it has a very interesting writing style because it is translated and old.
Right. It's not for everyone, definitely.
How would you describe that? I know
I had to take breaks. That's why it took so long for me to read this, and it's just the first of 4 books, but I do plan on completing them. It's written in a way where it's, because of the difference in English and Chinese, I believe this is from. I think it is Chinese. I think it's, but I could be wrong. You can call me out, but I think it's Chinese. But the differences in the language, there's just certain words that we don't have that they have, and then vice versa. It ends up feeling like someone is telling you a story about a book they read through the book you're reading.
Okay.
It's like someone read it, and then they were like, and then there was this guy, and he jumped on a table, and then he pulled out his sword, and he did this. And it's very descriptive of, like, it sounds like someone really excited telling you about things.
It sounds like a campfire story.
Yeah,
like someone's
pretty much.
telling you over a campfire.
And it's very, it's like if Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style of movie was made into a book.
That's interesting. Yeah. I know you've been reading that for a long time. He doesn't read as fast as me because he reads at night, so it's not even a big deal. Like, not his super priority. But he's been enjoying it, and he's excited to get the next book for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It picked up towards the end.
Yeah.
Because there was no central figure in the book. It was just like there were so many characters, and it wouldn't focus in on any one person. So it was really hard to, like, attach yourself to someone.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why it was really hard for me to read. But then, like, eventually there is a character that comes along that it does focus on, and you can kind of...
You think it'll be better in the next one, especially?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Because, like, literally the last third of the book was the easiest to read.
Okay. The next thing I read was volume 6, 7, 8, and 9 of Shortcake Cake. This is a series printed by Viz Media. This is a series, it's just a typical, I want to say typical, but I love typical shoujo that has these 3 teenagers who are the main characters. There's Ten, who is our protagonist. She is not really, I don't want to say she's a manic pixie dream girl, but she's definitely not like other shoujo girls. I really like her for that because she's straight up with them. She's like, I don't like you, I like you. And then it starts to get a little harder for her to say those things as it goes. So it's not just like, it takes me 10 years to tell you I like you. It's not like that. It's a little more complicated, and it feels more realistic. And she becomes friends with one of the guys, but I don't want to tell you which one. And the other one becomes a love interest. And the series takes a different turn than what I, and I'm sure others, expected. I thought this was going to be a love triangle series. No, it turns into you find out why this boy is the way that he is. We had to reduce some camera stuff because it got full.
It got bloated.
Very bloated. I really like Shortcake Cake. I think you should check it out. It's so good. I'm waiting for volume 10 to come out because that's where I've caught up to, and the series is not finished translating. And I'm sure the virus has not helped at all with the publishing and the printing and all that. So it might be a little while before I get it. I haven't looked into exactly when it comes out, but you should really check that one out. Every volume has been 4 or 5 stars. Fantastically written. The art is gorgeous. It is Sue Morishita. It is a writing and art duo, so it's 2 different people who do that together, and it's fascinating to see how that comes together and works. It's very, very good.
Damn you, COVID!
So he's out of books, so I'm just going to tell you about the last two. I don't want to say the word because I'm trying to keep this, family-friendly channel, but this word, it is a short story collection by Leah Hampton. It says F-Face and Other Stories. I won this from a Goodreads giveaway, just randomly entered it, and I don't really own any other short story collections. I have one by Stephen King that I have yet to get to, but that's literally it. I've never read one before, and it is good. I want to read you the ratings that I have for each story because there are 12, I think, stories in this. I gave the title story 3 stars, one called Boomer 3 stars, Wireless 3 stars, Parkway 4 stars, Twitchell 5 stars, Mingo 4 stars, Frogs 2 stars, Devil 5 stars, Queen 4 stars, Meat 3 stars, Saint 4 stars, and Sparkle 5 stars. So my favorite story is definitely Sparkle, the last one, because it involves Dolly Parton, and every single one of these stories is based in the South, I guess you could say, maybe Mid-South, mostly the South. Tennessee, the mountains, Kentucky, places like that. It was really fun to read stories based in areas, some of them I've been to, and a lot of these were really sad. Like a lot of them, it might not have been like a tragedy happened in them, but it was something just very melancholy or just bleak. And like the first story, LGBTQ, there were a couple that were talking about abortion or miscarriages or something very sensitive like that. Definitely trigger warnings in this one for things like cancer, loss of parents, fires, abortions and miscarriages, heavy bleeding, animal death, not necessarily abuse. Just very, very, random heavy things that were talked about in this. So if you're going to pick this up, just be aware that it's got a lot of trigger warnings. There's no like rape or anything that bad, but it does have a lot of trigger warnings in it. It's just good to warn people.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do recommend it. It is good. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was rounded up a 3.75, but I rounded it up to 4 on Goodreads, and I really liked it. Pretty good stuff in here. The Dolly Parton one was fantastic. Really cute, really fun. Makes me want to go visit Dollywood again. I went when I was little.
I drove by.
It's really cool. Like when this was all over, I would love for us to go one day and just have fun. All right, and the last thing, well, not true. I'll tell you about the audiobook I read. I haven't talked about that yet. I always forget audiobooks because I don't have them. I read The Sundown Motel. This was an audiobook that I borrowed from Libby, which is a free app that you can get in your area, and if you have a local library, I recommend you check it out because they have new audiobooks and regular books if you've got a way to read them like a tablet. Just get a login from your library and you get all these free books. So I listened to The Sundown Motel. It was not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm not upset about it. He listened to like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's about a hotel that is technically haunted, and you don't really know if it's supernatural the whole time or if it's just making you think it's supernatural, but it does end up having like ghost elements to it. And there's a serial killer who the main character is trying to figure out where her aunt, I think it's her aunt disappears, and she's trying to figure out, did they die? Did she just, what happened? And there's some twists and turns in there that I did not see coming, which for me in a thriller is kind of rare. I kind of usually see them coming, and if there is a twist, it's usually just a little one that I don't get, ones that don't matter. But this one kind of got me. I really, really like serial killer stories. I know that's kind of messed up, but whatever. And I think it ended up 4 stars. What did I rate that one? I think I gave it 4 stars. I'll correct myself here on the screen if I'm wrong, but
6 out of 10, closer to a 7 than a 5, but still a 6. Maybe a 7 one day, but for right now it's a 6.
Anyways, it's really good. Recommend it. Really good voice narrator on Libby. I liked her. She did a good job. Of course, there's trigger warnings for thrillers like death and murder and blood, and there is mentions of rape, sexual abuse, but they don't describe it. So I think you're okay in that. But do recommend. Now the last thing that I read I got this book signed. It's a signed copy. I got it at a Books A Million. I've talked about this in my reading vlog. I'll link that in the cards as well for you guys if you want to see it. It's by Rory Power. It is her second book, and as you can see, I already have her first book up here. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry, I'm an idiot. But it, I already read Wilder Girls last year, and it was my favorite book of 2019. Please read this book. So many people love or hate it. There's not really any in-betweens from what I've seen. I am obsessed with this book. I'm going to reread it for years to come. He's my saleswoman here. But this is our second book, so I was really nervous about it. I was worried I would hate it, but I love this book. Spoiler to my vlog. So good. 5 stars. I think I like Wilder Girls like a little bit more because I just really love the characters. This one had fewer characters. One of them is a lesbian, but she's not in a relationship, so it was really cool to see that rep and it not be tied to her relationships or whatever. It was just, she exists. She's a human, you know? And it was really interesting to see the relationship between the mother, the grandmother, and our main character, Margot here. Some really weird, science-y twists in this. There's a lot of fire. And Rory Power herself on Instagram has said that this series is encapsulated by the words fire, corn, something like women or something. It was like 3 words.
You've told me about it. It's weird. If you like weird stuff, that's a weird book.
And Wilder Girls is weird too, but people don't like it because of the ending. And I like open endings to stories, but I've heard people who don't like that one will like this one because it kind of wraps itself up fairly neatly.
Let me just take a moment to read an excerpt out of Wilder Girls. Maybe you'll get a taste for the writing style. Right place, right time. Sure, she gets up. Something like that.
No context whatsoever.
Captivating.
I think I'll just read you the synopsis for this one real quick. Ever since Margot was born, it's been just her and her mother. No answers to any of Margot's questions about what came before. No history to hold on to. No relatives to speak of. Just the two of them stuck in their rundown apartment, struggling to get along. Like, literally, she needed to go to social services. It was bad. But that's not enough for Margot. She wants family. She wants a past. And she just found the key she needs to get it. A photograph pointing her to a town called Faylene, pointing her home. Only when Margot gets there, it's not what she bargained for. Margot's mother left for a reason. But was it to hide her past, or was it to protect Margot from what's still there? The only thing Margot knows for sure is that there's poison in their family tree, and their roots are dug so deeply into Faylene that now that she's there, she might never escape. What a interesting synopsis, knowing how this actually goes. I really am obsessed with Rory Power and her writing. How is someone so young, so talented, and has me in their grasp for their books? Every book I think every book she makes, I'm gonna have to buy it.
Oh yeah, like
it's ready.
Chelsea won't stop talking about
it's
her. She's great.
I'm obsessed, okay? And more people need to read her books, okay? I just don't understand the hate for her stuff, but these are totally different but also similar. So I think if you read both of them, you'll have a good taste of what she's like as far as writing style. And not to mention these gorgeous covers, like fight me on them. Fight me. All right, guys, that's it for this wrap up, August 2020. How do you feel about what you read? I
feel ashamed that my pile was so tiny.
Dude, I do this, and you play video games.
That giant pile. Let me tell you about some games I played. And then cut it right there.
Yeah, we can do that sometime, but for real. Never ever be ashamed of the amount of books that you read. Babe, I read nothing compared to people who... I read 40 books this month. You know, like, yeah. And I mostly read manga, so that doesn't really weigh out as much as a full-length novel does. But that's it for this video. If you guys liked it, if you want more of JB, my lovely husband and assistant here, to be in videos, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. I love doing videos with him. It's so fun.
Oh, thank you.
He doesn't read as much, so he might not be in every wrap-up or every TBR, but I really want to do a couple with him every once in a while. But thank you, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Stay safe, wear your mask, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!